Welcome to my program, Bashy's Corner. We make programs about integration, culture, religion, any issue which mainstream media doesn't want, don't care, or don't dare. Denmark is a very small country in size, in population, but very large and very big when it comes to education, internet, information technology, and of course, NGO networking. It has many national TVs, both commercial and national, that broadcast news, sports, culture, and many other issues are taken up. But it has also a long tradition of local television, where NGOs make programs in that area they live. And I think that one of the most beautiful things in Denmark is this inclusiveness, that local, national, and regional are one entity. My guest today has many years of experience of TV production, especially helping ethnic minorities starting their own TV stations, TV programs. Welcome to my program, Claus. And I'm very happy that after a long time, I convinced you to come to my program.
Thank you very much to be here.
You have studied commerce and business at a very prestigious college, but you're also very interested in social justice in the society. How does these two things combine?
Yeah, I've been, for over 30 years ago, I was graduating from CBS here in Copenhagen, but my background is that I have been active inside the labor movement in Denmark, and from I was 17 years old I have been active, and so and then I was for 5 years I was employed in by the labor movement too. Okay. So that's why I think I have also coming from a family that was very social.
So family makes a big difference how people are grown up.
Yeah, okay. I'm coming from Sønderjylland.
Jutland.
Near Germany.
Okay, I see. But how did you start your business career after graduation? Did you started working for a big company or no?
No, for 5 years I was working as a consultant inside new business. In starting up a lot of projects. I was educating members of boards from voted by the laborers and so on in economics and so on. And in the mid of the 80s, I was involved in LO's investments inside the electronic medias,
so that's
television.
Money. We're talking about money.
Yeah, that was we're talking about an investment fund. I was.
But you have also worked for many years with a think tank, which I think is associated with social democratic parties, like workers' think tank.
Yes.
What did you do there?
I was primarily I was doing about job creation and about new business. In the 80s, we were trying to start companies with public money in and so on. So there was also unemployment in the 70s in Denmark. So,
I remember that.
So it's been up and down, and many employment activities has been the same ideas from the 30s, and we were trying to make new kind of jobs that not was the same as Downing have done in the 30s. So that was my start when I was starting on the harvest market.
I read a lot what this think tank, every week they send actually statements and surveys, they're doing good job, but there's also competition from other think tanks who are very right-wing, so how are they doing well? I mean, competing with those kind of right-wing think tanks?
So I'm not so near to this labor think tank today, but I can see in the newspaper and so on. So they are very busy. They are also professionals, but they also today have liberal think tanks and so on. And of course, that it's a part of the game if you're coming out with new analyses and so on.
Yes.
So,
but it's necessary to have both sides.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
and then, as I can remember going back to 90s, you have been always very active in, media work. From business to media, how did this interest came about?
It was coming that I was employed as a consultant who was asked to look at the investments from the labor movements in television and radio locally, and that's about 30 years ago. So it's been a long time I've been in the media. Then I've been working with in the media branches as a professional, and then always in all the years also been connected to the local television branches.
When did you realize that local television was as important as national?
I think already in the 80s we could see that local television could be a new form of television, but it had been very difficult, and today you almost have the local television that you have now and the regional funded TV2 stations, but in my opinion it could have been more if you let the legislation be a little more free, so it's could be as kind as you can see on the print media, but today there's very much legislation about it. But I think the new web interface is coming now, which will change this game.
But Denmark, as you know, have many TV channels of all types, why put energy in local issue and not work with the national television? With your experience, I mean, you can have a good job in DR or in TV2 or many others.
Yeah. In the last last 3, 4, 5 years, we've done programs here also to DK4 national station and so on. So it's not. What are you doing when you're doing local television and you're also showing on your YouTube or you're showing on the internet? Is that it's a local or it's a national or international program? Is this a local program or are we sitting in Bashy's Corner International? So it's the distribution is very easy.
So you can make a program anywhere and make it known everywhere.
Now it's the content who's telling if it's local or national or international.
Okay. So my interest is to see your work with NGOs, because Denmark is one of the very few countries where NGOs can make TV programs on local level, and as you say, it's distributed. When did it start?
It started in the beginning of the 80s, so it's over 30 years ago. Wow. There was, if you're thinking back in the Danish television history, you have many areas of Denmark in the 80s who only could see one station.
Oh yeah,
Danmarks Radio. And there they was discussing taking down neighbor country television or paraboles where you're taking down satellite television and so on. But more and more you have a discussion that to make an alternative to Danish radio, you have the TV2 was starting up in the mid of the 80s, and today Danish radio have more channels, TV2 have more channels, so
they cover regions also.
Yeah, so regionally to have SBS stations, VSAT stations. So today you have approximately 15 or more Danish stations and so on, channels. Yeah.
But then the question is that can any NGO make radio or TV programs?
You can't. Yes and no, but the legislation is so that in Denmark you have the possibility to have a license for local television.
You have to apply.
Yeah, you have to apply.
Where?
Yeah,
Where?
in the culture department. Yeah, and then it's come out in 2014. Okay. Now they have a license to 2019.
For 5 years.
For 5 years, and there's 35 of that kind of license. 10 of them are here in Copenhagen, and then you have 4 in Fyn and some in Jutland and
so it's distributed in the country.
You have 8 regions, and in every region you have minimum 1 license in Denmark.
So if it is under Cultural Ministry's guidelines,
yeah.
So does it mean that there is a control what is being produced?
Yes, because you are getting about 800,000 Danish kroner. You can be supported from the culture department.
For each station, you mean?
For each station.
Okay.
And there you shall, for this money, you minimum shall do 2 hours of your own productions.
Every week?
Yeah, every week, 100 hours per year. And the content of the program shall be local.
Okay.
So there is a minimum of production hours and a very strong control of its local content.
Okay. So then, as you know, that producing TV and radio is a very expensive business. You know, you have to pay to the people who to produce program and then broadcast. Does ministry gives enough money to make this professionally?
We can always need more money, but in a way you have it. In the Copenhagen area, you had about in 2009 you have 60 licenses, so you have cut down a lot of this, and now gone from 60 to 10, so that's giving more money to each station. So in that sense you have done it, in my opinion, in a better way now, so you have more money to produce. Not expensive, but you have more money to each hour what you are doing. So it's
so more money to use, make it more professional, or make more wider programs.
Yeah, it's still if average program on some of the other stations about 60,000 per hour, you can compare it with 8,000. So of course it's up to 10 times less than
That's true.
that you're getting in other stations. But the investment in equipment and so on is cheaper and cheaper. So in that sense, it's
okay to make those.
It's easier to start up a station today as it was for 25 years ago.
Okay, then
a studio camera, for example, costed about 700,000-800,000
in old days.
In old days, and today you maybe give 50 or 100. So there you can buy cheaper equipment.
What happens if local TV, for example, the programs they make, they don't live up to the guidelines of the ministry? Can ministry stop them?
Yes, in worst case, the minister can come and close the station. So it's quite
risky.
So the punishment is you can be kicked out of the market.
They take away the license.
Take away the license and telling you that you have to pay back the money.
Oh my God!
So in that sense, that's going to be a
disaster. Since 2011, you have been working in the house where we make our program, Media House. Yeah. What does this Media House do?
The Media House Copenhagen is a private company, a smaller private company with 7 people employed, and have been in the business for over 20 years. So it's a commercial company that are doing local television facilities, hiring it out, not producing it, but have the facility. So
when we produce, so we give money to the
TV Copenhagen can go here and hire and so on and so on. But Media House is also doing a lot of
other things,
education, movies and so on. So TV programs.
So what is your function in this Media House then? You help us, but then you also help them.
Yeah, I was over the years. I started as a consultant. I've been selling commercials. I've been But now I'm more and more a producer slash editor in the program. But going out also fundraising money and so on. So it's not we are not a big company, so we don't have big staff. So you must do a lot of
work.
Yeah.
Tell me, you keep an eye on a lot of things, and you watch this program, local program. How professional are those people who are making this local program?
It depends. So if you have to be a
the quality is better
now? Yes, for some, but we still have programs that could be better.
Okay, with this setup, so how would you compare the program being quality-wise, program being made on national level like TV2 and Danish television, and the programs we produce here?
Yeah, it depends, because if you're taking about this kind of concept, discussion programs, interviews, debates and so on, I think it's nearly the same quality as on national level, because if you look on the concept of deadline and other discussion programs, it's in a way not difficult to do. Of course, you can have more show in it, you can have music in it, and you can make more graphics and so on. That's depend of how many money you have. But to get interesting people into the studio and then have a discussion with them, that's you can do a local level or national level. But you have to decide that local discussion about local issues are also a quality in itself, not only national things or international things.
The reason why I ask you, because when I travel around and I tell people we make this program, Bashy's Corner, and then they see it and they think that it is absolutely like on a national level, the quality of producing and the pictures and the way we make it. So that is actually in a good way, they receive it in a very good way. Now this is the age of internet, Facebook, Twitter. In this concept, then how important local TV is then?
Yeah, I think if you're looking on what is coming up now, I think that is not in 10, 15 years. It's now. It's happening now. In about year 2000, you started off with live streaming, web television. You have the internet and so on. You had the .com bubble that, and then it was going a little slower. The whole situation about the internet thing. But now you can see you have Netflix. You have coming in with on private households and so on. So now it's possible also for this little studio, little company to make an interview with a guy in New York and
Skype
so on, on Skype and so on. So there's a lot of things that was not possible for 5 years ago, technical or economic. You have to hire a satellite, or you had other very expensive things. Now you can do them also in a good broadcast quality directly on the internet, and it's possible for also for small companies, small NGOs to do international. You have you can use your smartphone and so on. So in that sense, it's
so you can connect the local TV with the international.
The national TV.
I want to show you something which I was very happy. I looked at last night at YouTube, our program, the one we make, and I was so honored that 2 of the program we make, Bashy's Corner, they were favorite on YouTube.
On YouTube,
and I think it was wonderful that YouTube put that, hey, look at this program. Now, this program reaches quite many people in Greater Copenhagen. Do you have any idea how many, circa?
We have about from 5,000 viewers per per show, per program, but each program.
But it reaches more.
In 5, it's going now to nearly 2 million people in the Greater Copenhagen area. So in that sense, and now today, Channel Hovedstaden, TV Copenhagen is a part of a bigger channel called Channel Copenhagen. Channel Hovedstaden. Yeah. And that is also live streaming directly. So you can now sit in your taxi in New York with your smartphone and see the program directly. So in a sense, the local television is international, and you can see it on video on demand and so on.
Wow.
And I think if we can, of course you have to marketing, so that can be a little difficult to have the money, so you can tell people that here is a program you want to see.
So Facebook is also quite useful, because sometimes I put our program link on Facebook, and it reaches all over.
Yeah.
Now,
and I think special programs is easier to marketing on Facebook and on the internet. Yeah. So of course you have to, each program, each title, you have to say what is that's
and tag them,
and tag them, and also what is the audience for this program, and then they will find it.
Now I want to ask you something which I think is quite sensitive, but you have a much better knowledge, so I want to ask you. In old days, there was a lot of ethnic minority NGOs were making programs, I think many dozens. And then all of a sudden, many of them disappeared. What happened?
You have, I think it was in the end 90s, 99, there was starting up a lot of minority ethnic stations in the Copenhagen area. It was in Arabic, Turkey, all kind of things. I think it was over 5 to 10 smaller stations that was doing television. In 2014, you have cut down the license holders in the Copenhagen area.
Was it because of bad quality, or what was?
Yes, bad quality, and you have to focus the money to fewer licenses so they could get up the quality.
And the issues they were discussing. Maybe.
Yeah, and that was going from 60 license holders in the Greater Copenhagen area to 10. And in that process, there was fewer station with ethnic programs, but TV Copenhagen are still doing and have a priority of ethnic programs, but we are not sending in old days. We were also sending in original language and so on. But now it's English and Danish.
I have never told you before publicly, but I am very thankful that you, because of your work and efforts, that we could come in this. Programs.
Thank you.
Are there some local TV station taking minority issues besides us? Do you know anyone?
Yeah, I think
we are the only one.
Yeah, but you have also integrated in the profile of TV Bella, Vesterbo local television. Yes. So it's I think it's have a priority because it is a local issue in the Greater Copenhagen area. So of course it's.
But do you think that local TV can help for the integration of minorities in the society?
Yes, I think so, because it's a very good if you are doing programs that are going out and say you have to participate in the society, telling about the Danish society. There can be cultural differences and so on. So in that way, I think local television have a thing to do inside the integration of the minorities in the local community and so on. So also that it can come on and be host and so on. Yeah. So you can see that it's not only white men on television.
Well, white, black. I think that if local TV programs help to minorities to integrate and to be part of the society, I'm sure you can do better job than maybe any other person can do. But another question, which in the end I want to ask you, you advise many people like me, to start TV or be more professional. How successful have you been?
I think if you're looking over the years, we can see that that a lot of people have been started in local television, and then they have been employed or in regional television or national television. So in that sense, I think local television have been successful, because when the TV channels was increasing in Denmark, many of them was coming from local television and so on. But we have still have things to do, and we are now having courses, what we are calling video action learning. We're going out to NGOs and voluntary people and teaching them in doing local television, but also doing web television on the internet. And some of these courses are built on using their smartphone. Wow. You can go out now and buy a smartphone to 6,000 or 7,000 kroners with broadcast qualities, cameras built in to the smartphone, and then you have to learn to use them.
Can I come and learn? Because I would like to learn that, because I'm not very good at technology, but I would very much like to come.
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock we have a course. So,
Claus, thank you very much for appearing on our program, and I'm sure that all those people with minority background who have been watching this program have learned a lot, that you can also, through making programs locally or in that area you live in, you can contribute to the integration of ethnic minorities. Take good care of yourself. Until next time.